There's my audio. Okay. Ooh, got more people joining. I'm just going to be muting everybody. Make sure you're on mute unless you want to talk. And then you're welcome to ask questions. Also, feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'll be watching the chat while Farhan does his presentation and collecting questions that people might have. And video on, please. We will have it in presenter mode. And Farhan's going to be doing some screen share on here. Okay, I'm Nicole Donnelly from AI Smart Marketing, and we are having a guest, Farhan Chawla, and from Karachi, Pakistan, and he is the director of marketing for Bosch Pharmaceuticals and deals with large amounts of data for large amounts of people and customers. And he's been playing with spreadsheets and analysis with ChatGPT. And there were a lot of people that were interested in hearing more about how he's doing this data analysis. It's a pretty new way to use ChatGPT that we don't find a lot of people doing. And there's definitely some quirks to it and things to know. So Farhan, I will let you take it from here. And again, if anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat and I'll be watching there and we can ask Farhan when he gets done doing demos of the first bits. So over to you.
Thank you, Nicole. Good morning, everyone. It's 6 a.m. over here, so it's morning for me. Good evening to every one of you. Okay, basically my name is Farhan Chawla and I'm Director of Marketing for Bosch Pharmaceuticals. Let me just share the screen. I thought so. Can you guys see the screen? Because I'm really new at this. Okay, share.
There we go.
Okay, I got it. We are basically a 6,000 employee company with 2,480 people working in the field with 115 distributors and about 300 plus SKUs, and we operate in 13 countries. So we have a huge amount of data coming almost every day. One of the things which I ran the analysis on was on the compensation and the increments which you put on a field force, because I'm part of the marketing and everything. So I need to know how much we're spending on it and give it to my management, the complete analysis. Usually we get data through Oracle, Power BI. We also use .NET, SQL, all the technologies to collect the data. And to present them, again, I just run the analysis using Excel, prepare the graphs and show it to my management. This time I took the sheet and put it on, cleaned it up. One of the things which you have to do is clean up the data. It's the most important thing to do. And put it on ChatGPT and start getting the analysis from that. And the things which I covered in it was the sales, the destinations, because some of them have been promoted. We have 6 major divisions in the marketing growth, in which we've divided, so use those. The 10 years, we have employees which are working for 28 years. We have those who have in 28 days. Their salaries, because to see what's the impact of salary coming in. And their base salary revision, because of the inflation, we are working on if we increase the base salary from 22,000 Pakistani rupees to 35,000 Pakistani rupees. All these numbers are just because it's been going to be shared publicly. The numbers which I'm going to show you and all the data is not an actual, because I know some of my employees will be watching it later. Sorry about that. And the productivity and how much sales the people are giving and how they are performing. So I took that and let me just shift it to, I'm putting another screen. So I took that data and put everything on ChatGPT. Now, the data which I'm talking about is 2480 rows and about 10 different columns. So it's a huge data. The prompt which I used is a big one, because one of the things which I learned going through all the classes with Nicole and Dan is that English is the best language you can use. I have no idea about programming. I don't know how to do Python. So what I did, I went in depth in what I'm asking for to get a better output. The best thing about ChatGPT 4 right now is that they've started allowing 50 questions in 3 hours. So you can ask as many as you want, you can get a much better data output now. So the prompt which I used was, you're a human resource manager, define this role, and a master data analyst of a pharmaceutical company. So the role is defined for ChatGPT what they want to be. The Excel sheet given to you contains increment data for the whole field force. The sheet contains employee ID, designation, the division they work in, the subdivision called teams, their base town. They are based in Pakistan because I didn't define the country and output was coming out in dollars. So define that. Their joining date, which will help us determine their tenure till 30th June 2023. Their target based on value, their sales achievement and column achievement, average sales per month based on 11 months of sales, because again, I don't want to run a 12-month analysis on it. It was for 11 months. Their salary of 2021 as labeled in the column, their increments they got in 2022, 2023, 2022 and 23 total salary, and proposed increment for 23, 24. So now also can get the whole 3-year progression, how they are working, and proposed salary and person increase in salary. As a data analyst, make in-depth analysis of the data, shows the average salary of destinations, and ignore this prefix senior. We have like sales promotion officer, senior sales promotion officer, depends on how old they are. So don't want to do that. Want the data to be for sales promotion officers only, and remove the senior prefix so I get the complete analysis on them. Mention designations such as senior sales area manager to be treated as area manager only. Also, all destinations separately show the highest salary increase, their averages, how they increase over the years. I'm getting a 3 analysis. Which division has highest increase in salary and which has lowest? Which division has highest salary expenses compared to their sales and which is lowest? Who are the oldest working staff and how the salary metric is a newly joined the same destination in the last 3 years? How many people are unable to achieve their target by achieving 85% or below are getting increment and how many are not? Also, what if we increase base salary everyone below 25,000 after 23, 24, 25,000? This is the first one I done 25,000. The second one is in 35,000. What will the number of persons getting that base increment impact on salary percentage overall and in divisions? Run any other analysis you deem appropriate beside there as a HR manager. Show all the data in tabular so I can get the data out in tables, graphical and download CSV formats. Leave out no matrices. If I didn't point to anything to you and you think it can be done, do it. So it's a very broad prompt which I've given it to it. So I can access all the data that it can run and all the analysis it can do. So that's how it started. It picked up the file. The file is called the field for increment LLM. I just like to name all my sheets LLM, which I'm putting in ChatGPT. Easier for me to find them. And I also converted to CSV. I had a problem uploading the Excel sheets. Whenever I used to do that, there was one of the sheets and tabs in it, which has empty data. It was picking it up constantly, giving me errors. So I closed it out. Now, the analysis how it started, it picked up the data, start analyzing it with serial number, employee ID. First of all, it defined itself what all the town means. And the best part is it start reading out itself. So it's easier for me not to define each and everything. It removes the senior prefix as I asked it to. Convert the date strings to date. Now, again, the best part, because the CSV file I haven't defined these are dates and these are that. I just told it this column is date and start working on itself. And turning the non-numeric values into data. I'll just go down further instead of going through everything. And start examining the every cell what I've asked for, starts working on that. Now, the problem which started first was I started getting data in like this format, which I'm unable to understand, but I let it work. And then I just told him you're showing data in code form like this and copied and pasted it and started working on it again. And I start getting all the data in the tabular format. Only this one was an anomaly because this already in the data, there was an asterisk right in front of sales promotion officer. It start becomes as a separate field. Others for this one and for my area sales manager, I start removing the senior prefix. So next time I'm going to try, it can only ask it to remove the prefix or not, but this is the only anomaly I can see over there. It came out with a maximum salary for all the designations. It went down to the average salary increase and what I'm doing with what. So it gave me a good analysis on that how it's working. And later on to make a graph out of it. The average salary progression, like I told you, I put in all 3 years salary. So I start getting it, the AS is when I start 40,000 rupees. It's showing in dollars. I didn't define it at that time. Then went up to 48, then 54, then 59. So now I'm getting a complete analysis to show it to my management how the increase in salary is going. And it was easier for them to, so that they can easily understand that how we are increasing our expense on salaries. Zone manager for 60,000 to 71 to 85 to 103,000 rupees. And then the division with the highest, then also start working on the division with the highest salary average increase on 22, 23 was Lens with an increase of 5,000 rupees. The lowest one was Galaxy with 2,300 rupees. The division, the highest salary exposure as proportion of the sales 2024 is cardiology division, the ratio of about 0.4, about 4%. And this is about 9% in penicillin division. Okay, after running this data, I took the whole thing and I ran the, again, okay, after I ran the analysis, I asked it to go further. Now I'm not using any of the prompt, just asking it to work further on it. And it started working again. Average tenure of employees of cardiology is this, Galaxy is this, healthcare is 5 years, Lens is 7 years, Penicillin 6.7, Spectrum 6.2. Average sales performance of everyone is 103%. And then the number of employees in each designation start giving out that if I want to see how many sales promotion officers do I have, it starts showing out that about the out of 2480. Sorry. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask because I'm really new with this the Zoom presentation. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Comparison number of employees by designation and tenure. So, okay. What I did after running this analysis, I ran the same thing again 2 days back, 2 days afterwards. Same prompt which I used earlier, but this time I start getting a bit of different result. Instead of giving the complete data, I use the same file, field from given LLM and everything. It started working, giving out me a bit of different results and cleaning out data. And the output I got was a bit different. Again, started giving out me in the coding format. So I asked it to change it and then started working it out again. Okay. And that was a different file. Okay. So this time it ran the basic analysis itself. It ran the destination-wise analysis, the average salaries, salary increase, division analysis, tenure, target achievement, basic adjustment. It didn't give me all the details, how it's going through it. It just started working on it. And here the data is totally different. Right now, it started giving me the salary first in a table format. It's not as good looking as I got earlier in my previous analysis, but this time it changed. And then again, the data output started in the code format. But it started having some errors, so I started apologizing in between and start running the case again and again. So I stopped it and gave it, you're showing the data as like this, show it in a human readable format, which is table and graph. So start changing it again. And then start reading the data properly. And that's how I started getting it. The percentage salary on all the teams. This year, I used a bit of different, change the file names to see how it goes. So it started giving me the percentage increase in salary expenditure. And then designation as the oldest and newest staff in 3 years, how they are performing. Percentage increase in salary expense by division. And then stopped. In the earlier one, it went all in details and in depth, but right now it just stopped in between. So I told him, okay, as a HR manager, what else can you run? Start working on it, the same thing again. And then it went all quite in depth with the things and then started giving me the graph. One thing also asked, again, you provide the data in table form, it didn't give it to me. It started working on that. And all the data can start coming out in table form. I also asked for CSV files, which it didn't which it did in the first prompt. But here it stopped giving me CSV files. So I have to ask it again. But the things which I'm looking at is that the files it has given me as the complete details which I'm looking for. And then ask for one more thing. Give me complete data in download CSV format. Also in any other analysis you can think. Now I'm just pushing it to do whatever it can do. and appropriate to be presented to the management board performance review. So it went down to performance quarterlies, salary versus performance quartiles about what the first quarter, second quarter, third Q1, Q4 people are doing, division-wise performance, employee churn, risk based on compensation. If you look at one of the things, identify employees whose compensation is below average for the performance level. This is something which we usually don't run. You start running it by itself. Like if you look at the whole bell curve on the Q1, it's 622 employees. The lowest one and the highest 622. So we can see the overall the employees are equally divided in all four categories in the first Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Salary versus performance analysis, it did that. That in the lowest part of the bell, we have 40,000. The other part of the bell, we have 36,000. And the team Alpha and Prism and Pinnacle are what their achievements are. The churn basis, their salaries, average salary, achievement percentages, and salary difference from average. Like my business manager, employee code, I can ask to put the names later. What the salary they are making, their achievement and how they are working. And it started giving the observations. Now, this is again, the in-depth analysis which ChatGPT is producing, which usually we used to do it ourselves and think about it. It's giving us much more ideas into thinking how the things are going. Like the highest fourth quartile performance have a lower average salary than other quartiles. Although they're the highest performers, they're getting a lower salary. So this is something which we have to look into it. Now that analysis, yeah, we can run ourselves, but it's giving out everything to us in a good format and defining everything to us. It's easier to go through the things and not miss out on anything. And again, it's giving me the CSV format, which I can easily download and present. Now I asked it to, because I was getting the employee data over here, I didn't know the employees. I asked it to change it and also start putting in the names, which it did in the CSV format, and I got it over here. Then asked what analysis can you run beside what you have run earlier, show results which will benefit talking to the employees. Now, from the HR point of view, I want to see how to motivate the employees for the motivation and need data and tables and graphic and downloadable file form, and do include employee names in downloadable file. So start working on achievement recognition, tenure recognition, sales per month progress, salary progression by tenure, potential talent identification, and start is just doing its analysis over there. Now start from like Kashif Ali for Prism Group, SPO is having one of the highest sales. So start giving it that data. The same file, because 2480 people is just showing me a couple of them, and then rest again, I can download the CSV file. Tenure recognition, Rana Farm is with us for 28 years. Saeed Javed is for 28 years. So if you want to give a long service award, something like that, I can easily work it out over here. Sales per month progression, Jahangir Khan is doing 112, then achievement percentage missed it. It was in the file. And similar tables would exist for median bottom performance. I'll show you the file later on how it did. And sales progression by tenure for the newly employed joined year for employees with about 0.6 months of 0.6 years of joining. They have this salary. My employee 6.64 have this much salary in average. Potential talent identification, Jahangir Khan is doing one of the best. And so it starts also giving me out that which employees are doing the best, so I can work with them and see how they can go further. This is the visualization which it did. Let me just show you the files. It downloaded the file, and I'll just bring it up in the next screen a while. Now, like the individual manager running the divisions separately, analysis can you give them to improve productivity? Like I told you, I have 6 divisions, so I split all of them. Pinnacle versus Prism, how it goes. So now, with the perspective of an individual manager, I start running it separately. Employee performance distribution, tenure versus performance, salary versus performance, potential leaders, and areas of improvement. Again, it starts showing the performance of each and every it took its Prism as an example, rest in the CSV file, that how the Siafat is doing, how Muhammad Ali is doing, Akhtar Rahman is doing. The median performance was right in the middle, and the bottom performance. Now I've got a whole file of which employees I have to work on, which employees I have to improve, and which employees are doing the best. And then it went down to the tenure versus performance, like a newly joined SPO, a manager like less than a year is doing 115%, while one in above 1 year is doing 91%. So again, we can work it out that what the training needs are, how we can work on them. Salary versus performance, the base salary was 24,000, 25,000 rupees, which we're giving to them, and they are doing 177%, 140%. So do we need to increase the salary? How much we should do? That we can work upon. For potential leaders, for the product specialist, this it picked itself because we have a distinction between the area manager and sales manager, product specialist. So we can work on them like 200%, 177% increase and 144, how to take them further. And also define these are the top performing individuals who can be grouped for leadership roles, giving more responsibilities. So it's giving you the solutions, giving you the suggestions all by itself.
These are the 5 reports.
Sorry, you cut off.
That was someone's background noise. We just muted
Oh,
him.
okay. Okay. And again, for the division prism, it will start running area of improvement that for the area managers and who we have to work upon, like 80%, 85% achievers to take them further. Now, this table provides managers for the prism division sites employees who might need further support, training, mentoring. It's again doing by itself. The whole prompt never told him to suggest all this to him. It's doing by itself. So again, I may be working with the data. I may be knowing my stuff. Sometimes I need some insights. I need some pushing to go further. It's doing that. And I can pursue generate similar analysis for all of the division, compile them down form. Okay, that will be good. I got the CSV file over here. Now, as to break the file with top 200 bottom with the same parameters. Again, my typing stopped really good, so I start making mistakes and it just picks up things by itself and it threw me the data. One of the things which I noticed earlier is how to train the employees and also to increase the salary of some of the people. It even told me that. If I can just find it, give me a moment. See, it's telling me for tailored training and guidance for the top performers, and also ran a salary analysis for the top performers. Told me to do that. So overall, the data which let me show you the output which I got in the CSV file. I have to stop sharing the screen. I'll reconnect it.
Okay, and after that, will you please show everybody how to turn on the mode that you're using, and then how to select it and how to upload a file?
Yeah, that I'll show. That will be easier. Okay, this is the analysis which I'm getting. It's on CSV format. I'm using Apple, so it's going to numbers, as you can open an Excel too, and run an analysis on it. Sorry, this one is, yeah, top and bottom 200 ones. I'll open an Excel so it will be easier to understand. Can you guys see, Nicole, can you see the sheet?
Not yet.
No, okay, let me just share the screen again. I'm able to find it.
There we go.
Okay, now can you see it? Okay, this is the Excel sheet which I got from it. Top 200, top bottom 500. I can run the further analysis, give it to it, upload it to file to it, and make it run a further analysis too. And now we'll go to how I did all that, how I ran the sheets. Sorry. So I went to new chat. I'm using ChatGPT 4. I have the code interpreter already selected over here.
And can you show them
And this is
how to turn on the code?
sorry. Okay, sorry, let me just share the screen again.
Yeah. Because not everybody has it enabled.
Okay. Okay, you can go down to this. Can you see this? Actually, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Sorry for asking you again, but I'm not really proficient with that. So you go to your name on the left-hand side, there's a whole column with all the queries you have run. And there's your login over here, or maybe your icon. Just click on these 3 dots and go to settings and beta. And you go down to the beta features, and there you can see the code interpreter. You have custom instructions on. I can tell it what I am, so it works accordingly. I'll talk about it later. The plugins and also the code interpreter. So once it's on, you can upload your files to it. It's available in ChatGPT 4, it's a paid version. And let me just copy the complete file. Or let's do one more thing. New chat, got this. I'll upload the data which I got from Netflix. It will be much more fun to look at. This is the Netflix data, all the countries which they produced since 2021 till last week, of all the top shows in Netflix and all the top movies in Netflix and all the countries they operate in. The file is uploaded always. It's Excel format. Haven't formatted CSV. Haven't worked on anything. So just a prompt. You are a data analyst for a TV production company. Defining the role. The data is about top TV shows and movies on Netflix. From all the countries they operate in. Run on the analytics you can to be presented to management and marketing. Show the data in table and graphical form. Also generate a downloadable CSV file. Okay, so very simple prompt which I've used. See how it proceeds. So this is a working and doing at the back. I did the whole thing earlier, so I'll show you if it doesn't work at this time. I can show it to you later how it worked.
And I think it's important to note that what Farhan just said, it worked earlier and it didn't work the same way now. Just like when he did the spreadsheet analysis, the salary analysis in comparison, it worked differently both times he tried it. And we find the same that ChatGPT is inconsistent, and it's really important to know how to talk to it to get the information you want. And this is a good demonstration of, I didn't get what I wanted the first time, so let's try it again.
Yeah, you have 50 questions, so you can use it again and again and make it work in 3 hours. And after 3 hours, you can ask another 50 questions. If you look at one of the things that the country code which Netflix uses are the ISO 2 codes. Like for Pakistan, they're using PK, for Australia, it's AU. And Netflix defining itself about the country, I don't have to tell it that it's ISO 2 codes. It's doing it by ChatGPT is doing it itself. So for a lot of things doing by it already has the data with it. It's just utilizing that its own data is trained on and working analysis based on that. So now to start working on it, running the overall analysis, country specific analysis, it's using top 5 countries and top 5 shows and graphic visualization. Okay, and if you look at this, there are 5,545 unique shows and movies in the data set. And how much time it took? About like 15, 20 seconds to start working on it. Films, 101 films in it. There are 101 TV shows in it. Now, here it made a mistake because there are total entries. I haven't defined what the movies and TV shows are. Even Netflix doesn't do it. So it's showing the total of both the things. If you look at the country-wise analysis, New Zealand has the highest 922 unique shows and movies. Canada has 905. Trinidad Tobago has 889 unique shows. I mean, these are those which are only present in New Zealand, nowhere else. Canada has 905 TV shows, which I can't see them in Pakistan. They are only for Canada. Trinidad and Tobago has 889. So if you guys are using the VPN servers, you guys know which Netflix to use. I mean, we do that in Pakistan to watch Australia. Australia has 881. Reunion has 870. And if you look at the top 5 TV shows which are appeared on all the countries, Stranger Things have been watched like 3,258 times. So these are the most popular TV shows over there. Manifest has 900 times have been shown among all the data set. The Good Doctor for 2000, Money Heist, again, a popular show, 1,700 times. And You, which just came out like 6 months ago, 1,600 times. If you look at the time analysis in the week of 4/7/21, unique shows, there were 257 unique shows. At the time, the newer unique TV shows were really popular. They're among the top 10. If you look at 2021, in the 1/8/21, the unique shows were 245. So once I download data as a TV producer, I can see how the unique shows are working over there. And the passion, the governance has stayed for long time, 10 in the top for 102 weeks, like one of the best performing shows in Netflix then. And mostly we think it's Money Heist. And if you start working, it's still giving the category. Well, this category is not defined, so the data is not correct. The movies and the TVs are showing almost the same data because I didn't define what the movies and what the TV. So the data integrity and the data quality is also really good. If you put in the correct and the right data, you will get the correct and right output. Else there are going to be mistakes like this one. If I would have defined these are the movies and these are the TV shows, would have given me the correct data over here. If you look at the top 5 the most unique TV shows, here they are New Zealand, as it showed earlier, New Zealand, Canada, Trinidad and Tobago, Australia, and Reunion in Africa. Top 5 movies in frequency across all the countries is Stranger Things, Manifest. Again, what it showed up in the text form, it showed the graphical form, which you can easily download and put it on your screens or put it on your presentation. Distribution of shows and movies by category, this means evenly split. Again, the data is not correct over here, so the output is also not correct. The top 5 movies are again talked about, and you can download data in CSV format. What are the analysis? Now, when I ran this day back, now you can do January analysis. So you have to push it a bit further. If you don't know what you're asking for, just ask it to do whatever you want to do and start giving you something new. And okay, and we're starting the data now. Now these are all the parameters it picked up itself and it's doing it. Now I have no idea how the movie industry works, how the production and TV industry works. But here it's giving me everything I wanted to know as I'm a TV producer. It's taking a bit of a time because, and this is the data is about the past. It's a weekly data of all the top 10 movies and TV shows since 21.
And I think this is where ChatGPT really shines, is it's finding patterns and similarities and presenting you with information based on data that you already fed it. Because GPT doesn't work well as a search engine itself, but based on information that you feed it, it can give you insights that you wouldn't have gotten yourself or faster than you would get them yourself.
Okay, now it has stopped. Okay. It has stopped giving the data. It has run the analysis, but it's not giving us any output. Show the output. Sometimes like talking to your 10-year-old, telling them what to do. If they come in like, Baba, we have done this, but what you have done, can we show that? So that's how it starts working. Now it's running it all over, everything all over again. And as Nicole said earlier, it's not consistent. This time I have to ask it. What I did earlier, it showed me everything just on the first try. I'll show you two right after done with this analysis. I'll show that screen too. I like looking at this part. I mean, I'm not a programmer and everything, but it's really fun to look at. Okay, now start getting it. Now, what the analysis which is run is that every month, now you can see in July, mostly they come with the most unique shows and movies. And the trend starts to go down further in, let me just move this. In September, April, August, December. Okay, it has defined everything that how the new movies come, when do they come out. July is mostly holidays and all, so they have it over there. And November, December, they're one of the lowest coming in. Staying power analysis, Stranger Things, again, as it told earlier that how many times it has started, it has been there. If I take it to the earlier prompt which I've run, again, this is the same basic analysis which I asked it to run and start with the same same analysis which I did earlier. But the output which I start getting is trends over time, which it didn't show me earlier. It's a very scattered graph, and I have asked it to break it down. The break it down is Stranger Things manifest. Again, the same movie is talking about, but the Witcher was not there earlier in the first one. Witcher is now. Sorry, Witcher wasn't in the analysis, which I did in front of you. But it's showing the show's property appears to have peaks and valleys, suggesting periods of heightened interest. Witcher came out like 6 months back. They came up with season 1. Now season 2 is out. So you can see the peaks and valleys showing over here. In country-specific preferences, Argentina has Café con Aroma de Mayo at 18 times the top 3. Queen of Flow 17 times. Australia has Outer Banks. It's an Australian show. Mate and Ozark. Austria has Rookie, Squid Games. Bahamas has LA's Finest. Dynasty, again, some of these shows are depending on the region. Bahrain has Squid Games, Night Agent, Emily in Paris as the top shows. Staying Power, as they showed earlier, it just gives us one line that Passion D Governors was the highest showing over there. Right now, it's giving the competitors of top 10 Passion D Governors, Pablo Escobar, Chiquitas, Money Heist, Crash Landing is all coming out. In category distribution, again, because the data was not correct, it just told us about the top 10, how it's defined. So data is totally evenly distributed. Because if I put in the correct data, what I've shown, but one thing to notice is in Russia, it brought the graph down. As they are, I don't know whether they're shutting down the business over there or they're offering, the Russian graph is way down as compared to others. Everything, all of the countries are totally consistent. And I won't go into that because the data was not correct, so I won't talk about that. And now I saw Pakistan market compared to that of the United States. And then start running on the top shows, trends over time. In Pakistan, we have the most popular Money Heist, Stranger Things, We Cancel, Good Doctor, and the Indian movies. In US, it started with Cocomelon, and then Stranger Things. So basically, the data, whatever you feed in, whatever analysis you're looking at, you can get it out easily. And it will give you the complete analysis, what you're looking for, what you're asking for it. It's given now, it's even giving me how many months money has been in the top in Pakistan, and we can so in this. Again, I don't know how to make use of this data being not in the field, but I know my friends who are into TV production and movie production, they can easily use that. So Nicole, I think I'll stop it over here. And if there are any questions, they can always ask.
Yeah, we do have a question from Juan, and I was thinking about how you could use this data if it's current, for if you use the Netflix data, because we do a lot of things where we try to do newsjacking. And if you want to create social posts based on this kind of data, you would know which shows to follow, make boards about, or memes, or, there's so much you could do with this kind of information. From a consumer marketing perspective, if you can do it in a little bit more fun way, but also to see what people are interested in, you can put the context of your marketing in the things that they have been watching. I worked with a bridal shop, and we would follow some of the shows where people are getting married and, feature the dresses that they're getting married with. And I feel like we could probably use this tool to get even more granular with the data from that kind of B2B perspective, and even, B2C perspective, but probably some B2B too. Juan has a question. He was wondering, do you use GPT to help you create the prompts? And how do you create data files that include the correct metrics to derive these types of insights, particularly around sales?
One, the thing is with for the bigger prompt, which I use for my complete data analysis, I just typed it out. Again, I don't know, actually my typing is a bit slow. What I do, I just go to Word, start dictate, and start talking to it, whatever's in my mind. And this types out the whole thing. I just copy it and paste it into GPT. It's easier for me to do that. And I do use it for writing prompts, but I find that they're not very useful because it doesn't know what I'm asking for. So once the initial prompt is run, I asked it to go further. Now it knows what's looking at, what my analysis is, and starts working on top of that, start giving out much more and more data. The source for the data basically is we collect data from our distributors, we collect the sales data from them. We have like 115 distributors, so I get data from there every day. And the other is given by my other departments like marketing, sales, and finance. And I have a guy who compiled everything into Excel sheet, which I just uploaded over here and run the analysis. What I did, I had the sheet with like 8 different tabs. I took all the 8 tabs, put them into one tab. So it was easier for GPT to run the comparison. Now, the best thing which is coming up now, which I tried yesterday, now it can take up multiple files and start doing the analysis on those too. So you don't have to worry about going for 8 tabs, and even if you have 8 files, it will compare all of them. So it's getting much better at doing the data analysis. Any other question? Nicole, you are on mute.
Dawn, it seems like you might have some thoughts or ideas how you could use this in your business. I'd love to hear what you're thinking over there.
Thanks, Nicole. And thank you so much, Farhan. I'm not great with spreadsheets, so I have my ops manager with me who is a spreadsheet lover. She was pretty excited about even just sitting in and hearing the conversation. I guess the main insight was you saying, it's really good with data when you plug in your own data and then get it to do analysis. So we're trying to think of all the kind of data points that we've got. So we were thinking, oh, it'd be great. We could go back over the last few years and look at the customers who've referred work to us. We're a professional services business, and do some analysis on, the number of individuals within those companies that are using us, or perhaps looking at some data that we've got. We can pull it out of our CRM quite easily around the number of hours we bill per assessment and compare it across consultants, so that, at a hit of a button, we could perhaps produce a monthly or a quarterly report for them. So I'm just sitting, absorbing, and trying to figure out how can we use this. So I found it really interesting. The coding and stuff is well beyond me, but I like that, with practice you get better at writing these prompts, and asking it the right questions and seeing where it takes you and just playing with it. Yeah.
Don, one of the classes I took with Nicole and Dan of BizHack was the best thing which I learned is the best programming language with ChatGPT is English.
Yeah.
Just ask whatever you want to do and it will produce it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in programming. You don't have to do data analytics. Just whatever's in your mind, ask it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at my prompt, I just put everything, gobbled it all together, and I told it to do
well, I like you. I'd learned that from Nicole as well. So I loved that. It looked very much like my prompts, I have to say. Nicole, I blame you for that. But I was like, la 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 la. Yeah.
It's funny.
It's really interesting.
I've cut back on the volume of information I put into one prompt because I found ChatGPT goes sideways a bit. A bit faster with the bigger prompts. And so I did something that I wanted to share with you because it's kind of the other way. It's creating a spreadsheet in ChatGPT. And this is so basic. This is really basic. I have been doing this 90-day journal challenge. I'd been keeping my journal in Apple Notes. And so I wrote day 1 and put the date and put my little entry. Well, now it's kind of a mess. And I'm more than halfway through the challenge. And so I wanted to put it in a spreadsheet format and then have it populate all the other dates till the end of the challenge so I could see where I was. And I copied and pasted all my journal entries into ChatGPT, and I'll share this with you.
Yeah, cool.
So I started with a small prompt, and then it got bigger, and I asked it to do 2 columns and have these 90 days and then leave a column blank for a journal entry. And it started with 90 and then it stopped at 81 and then did 321 and stopped the dates.
Huh.
So
Hang on,
I-
but the dates are correct.
the dates are correct. I
Yeah.
told it the start date and the dates are correct. And then I actually had the start date wrong. And so I had to redo it because my
Yeah.
prompts were, or my journal entries were all in different orders.
Yeah.
And so then I said, please try again and fill out all 90 lines. And
No.
it didn't. Please try again and fill out 90 lines of column 1 and 2. And then it did left off the third. But it did columns 1 and 2.
Brilliant.
So I was
It's
like, okay,
cheeky.
yeah,
Come on. Yeah, it's like a teenager.
yeah. So I took that and put it in the spreadsheet, and then I took my entries. Well, I actually asked it because that doesn't always work to paste directly into Excel in the right format, and you need to do it CSV, like Farhan said. You need to import CSV. It doesn't do well with Excel or Google Sheets, that format. So CSV tends to work better. So it's telling me what to do. And I said, that doesn't work. Please put in exportable format. CSV works too. So then it puts it in CSV, but it stopped. It didn't give me lines. So I said, try again. It didn't do it. And then it finally did. So I put that in the table. And then I had all my journal entries and they're in random order, as some are in order, but these little entries with day and date. And so then I asked it to put these in order. And then I asked it to put it in a sheet. So it did. I had what I did right today, what I could have done differently. And then I exported that and put it, and it didn't do all of them either. So I had to ask it again. And I actually think I've manually entered the last ones, but it did a number of them. And then I put it in the spreadsheet and I had it that way. So, you know, this one took longer than it should have for how simple it was. I also did a budget in here for a marketing plan. I'm trying to find where that went.
Nicole, do you reckon if you had written a longer prompt at the beginning, you know, like specifying, I want you to do all 90 days, don't miss any, like a bit more detail, do you think you might have been able to get that outcome more quickly or not? Who knows?
I don't know. It could be the day of the week, because I said create a table with column 1 being day, create days 1 to 90 and have them in descending order. Column 2 label is day and date, begin day 1, Friday, June 23rd. Column 3 is the journal entry. And
yeah, but because you've said 1 to 90 and you haven't said inclusive, maybe that's why it thought, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how it thinks, but if you think of it, it's reading the language and you've gone, well, 1 to 90, but you haven't specified that it needs to include all 90 days. Maybe it's gone, oh, she doesn't want to see all 90 days. She just wants to see a few at either end.
Yeah, well, and on here I said, please try again and fill out all 90 lines, and it didn't.
Yeah.
Actually, it does have a problem with giving out the table. It's start missing out things. Just ask it to give out the whole output in CSV format.
Yeah.
It will give you a downloadable file.
Yeah,
That's better as compared to reading it over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that I did was a budget, and in here I said create a 12-month budget in table format with a dollar amount of 16,000 a month. The items we need to spend on are Google ads and management, SEO, new website, Facebook ads and management, creating SOPs for these particular items. So then it does my first 12-month budget. And I just wanted to see what it would do in this case and how much it would allocate to each thing. It didn't allocate the money properly, and it didn't give me the right total. So I was like, okay, I just wanted to see what it would do with less instruction here. And then it tells me what it did. So then, I don't know why it doesn't have my revised prompt in here, but I revised it with some items. Now, oh no, still didn't work. Okay, looks good. Okay, then I told it what to budget and it does that. And then I had to change it again because like, okay, well, this part needed to be for 3 months. These are one-time onlys. And, you know, then the budget. So it worked it out to be an average of around 16 a month, and it reduced it after some of the work got done. But this budget, instead of taking me like 3 hours to manually do everything and research everything, I was able to have a conversation and change the numbers in here. And it took me 30 minutes instead to put together a budget. And then I had it put it in an exportable file with all the numbers in it. And I hate doing budgets and spreadsheets because I am not a spreadsheet budget numbers person either, Dawn. And this was so time saving for me. So I started using it whenever I am faced with a task that I think is just tedious and I don't want to do it. Like, how can AI help me with this?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the key learning from those two examples from me and Farhan, probably your example too, is the real importance for us to creatively have a go at it and ask the question and just give it a shot, but don't assume that what you get back is going to be correct, and be patient as the technology improves and as your ability to instruct the technology improves, to just keep working at it.
Yeah, I'd say with Farhan stuff too, I'm sure he's going to double check if it says these are your top performers before they get a bonus or raise or anything. He's probably going to double check that math to make sure that GPT did it right.
Yeah.
Actually, we
And
do
I was
the
wondering
complete
how
thing
I
right
could-
again manually.
Yeah. I was thinking,
We
Farhan,
do
how
it manually
can I
again to go through everything.
get
Sorry.
get your top performer, you know, that guy who was at 177% productivity and he was on such a low wage? I'm like, man, I'd be giving him a pay rise instantly, otherwise I'll be stealing him from you.
Actually, our basic salary in Pakistan is $100.
Yeah.
We start from that, and then it goes further on. But the thing is,
more than that per hour.
Yeah, one thing you didn't check is, I would love to do that. Okay, one thing you didn't check is it didn't compare the performance with the sales. The SPO, which is talking about with 177% performance, was making a sale for like $3,000 only, compared to the SPO who is giving me a 90% performance, doing a $30,000 sale.
Yeah, very good point.
So that's not one parameter you have to put into it. It can also compare the sales as compared to performance, which I didn't. So you can get a much better picture than that.
Yeah, really good. No, fascinating. I love Nicole. I love this, and Farhan, your example. Just to really see the practical application of it, it just opens my eyes and my mind to what's possible, and pulls me out of the kind of just continuing to churn doing the same way. It's the magic, really, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you for participating. If anybody wants more information, I mean, the next one of these Zooms is going to be about ecom and AI for ecom. So if you know anybody who's interested, feel free to share the link with them. We've got a bunch of the My EO ecom people that are going to be on this next one. And tune in if you're at all interested to see what's going on. There's some really, really cool things happening with predictive images and with the predictive data and what it can do for conversion on websites and with products. It is game changing for product companies. It is also expensive right now, but I've got, I have access to some case studies from the company that sells this product to big companies like Mars, and I have their permission to share it with you. Dawn, you have a question?
Yeah, just just wondering, we've got an e-commerce industry specific forum in Sydney, but they're not necessarily all on AI chat. Can I forward it directly to the moderator of that forum, even if they're not on the AI group? Yeah, cool.
It's going to be an open one that we'll record for everybody. So please do invite them.
Yeah.
I want to have as many questions as possible if people want to send them beforehand too. What it's doing in every industry is huge, and some of the things it's doing in e-com is absolutely game changing, because when you get predictive analytics on your images and you know that something is going to convert better than something else, people are using it for product development too now, and for packaging. It's been really accurate, and there's a lot of big companies that are starting to use it now. And I
think I use ChatGPT for my year 9's commerce homework than I have in my own business. And he got 98% with his last assignment. And we're like, yay for ChatGPT, because they said they're welcome, he's welcome to use it. We're like, brilliant. So yeah, I think e-commerce it's extraordinary what's going on in that space. Yeah. Cool. Okay, I look forward to that one. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions, comments, last minute? Nope. Okay, we can go a couple minutes early, and I'll send a link out. So feel free to share it. Farhan has agreed to make this public information. So we'll post it to YouTube, and we'll send it. We could share it in the WhatsApp groups, and you could share it with the e-com group too, because they might find it interesting. And that'll go out in a couple days. Oh, there's a question. Nicole, have you reviewed the different AI chatbot builders like writesonic.com? Which is the best in your opinion? This is not a 2-minute question. It depends what you want the chatbot for. If you want the chatbot to answer your customers' questions, that's one thing. Juan, are you talking about for customers or internal customer support? I would look at something like Caffeinated CX that plugs into an existing customer support platform. The standalone chatbots, there are some vulnerabilities there. I think we should probably do a full session on chatbots. We're working on building our own in Microsoft Azure on our own data, and so that it can be more secure. And one of the things that Azure has in their cognitive AI is you can take everything. We could take this Zoom recording and turn it into an FAQ. So you can upload so much information, so many documents about your company, and turn them all into FAQs. Farhan has said, thank you for coming. And he posted his LinkedIn link, so, and email address if anybody has any questions afterwards. So please go ahead and connect on LinkedIn. Yeah, so there are multiple aspects to the whole chatbot discussion. Yeah, I think that'll be once we get our Azure chatbot built, we'll definitely demo it for you and talk about the experience. We just started on it this weekend. Oh yeah, NLP on the same, yeah. And with the pricing models, the platforms get unsustainable pretty fast. Well, Juan, if you are already on some sort of customer service platform like Zendesk, or I think it works with Zoho CRM and Salesforce, check out Caffeinated CX, because they'll work with those platforms, and it's the least expensive one that's out there right now. So, and there's a YouTube video about it on my channel, my personal one at Nicole Donnelly, where I had a conversation with the founder of Caffeinated CX. So you could watch that and learn a little bit more. The other ones do end up getting really expensive. So, but we'll have a session on that in the near future. All right, Farhan, have a great day. And yeah.
Thank you everyone for giving me the time and Nicole for the opportunity for this. Sorry, I have to leave because my daughter is already ready and I have to drop her to school. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Dawn.
Thanks, Nicole. It was great.
Good.
See ya.
My pleasure. Bye.